Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of In Conversation, my advisor coach. Today, in conversation, I have a very dear friend, Gaurav Goyal, National Head Sales and Marketing with Canara Robeco Mutual Fund. Canara Robeco Mutual Fund is launching their new fund offer of Canara Robeco Multi-Asset Allocation Fund on 9th May, and it closes on the 23rd May of 2025. So we thought of catching up with Gaurav and taking us through more about what this fund is all about. So welcome, Gaurav, to In Conversation today.
Thank
And
you
I'm
so
very,
much, Suren.
and I'm
Thank you.
very intrigued to know that the market is actually, receiving a significant amount of inflows into equities. What motivated the Canara Robeco Mutual Fund to launch a multi-asset allocation fund at this point of time?
Thanks, Suren, for asking this question because, uh, first, I think let us understand, what is the big picture which is there in the industry and where our investors are investing in. So when you look at in terms of the opportunity before us, where are investors investing? One is when you look at in terms of the bank deposit, correct? The size is about 230 to 40 lakh crore. The second, when you look at in terms of individual investors investing into, if you look at the gold ownership of the individual investors in India, that is roughly around, these are estimates, about another 250 lakh crore, correct? So put together these two, what we're talking about is about 500 lakh crore opportunity. When you look at in terms of individual investors, how much they have invested into the entire mutual fund industry. So we are roughly around 67, 68 lakh crore. Out of that, about 40 lakh crore is individual investors. So net, what we are saying is that there is a big opportunity lying in where our investors are investing into the bank deposits and gold. And even in mutual funds, it is just about, 40 lakh crore. So the 10x opportunity is there, in other asset classes. So one is from an investor perspective, they are investing in all the asset classes. When you look at that entire, I would say that thali of our individual investors, okay, clearly from our mutual fund perspective, it is less than 6-7% of their thali that we have been able to get it. So there is a huge opportunity, and we have to accept that fact that as far as Indian investors are concerned, there is a huge allocation towards other assets. Primarily, I have given examples of two, which are bank deposit and gold, and therefore, in a way, if we can bring in some kind of a product where we can actually mix all these asset classes and can offer it on a mutual fund platform, I think that's a very, very big opportunity. So we have looked at that big opportunity while we have come out with the product. Of course, we are the 26th fund house, so it's already one category which has already started getting inflows from the investor. It is already existing, but it is still at a very, very nascent stage. What we believe in, and there is a huge potential as far as this category is concerned.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what the historical data also shows that.
Correct.
Absolutely. So what makes this fund so attractive, and why should advisors and distributors, advise and suggest this fund in a client's portfolio? And is it a apt product in the current market situations, Gaurav?
No, I think we have to look at it one aspect, in which is that if asset allocation, if you look at it in terms of the wealth creation, there are enough studies which have clearly stated that asset allocation is the biggest component in terms of creating the wealth creation. Correct, for
Absolutely.
any
Couldn't
individual
agree more
investor.
with you.
And if you believe that asset allocation is there, then we have to look at the products which are, offering that opportunity to allocate to different asset. So when you look at multi-asset allocation fund, so while, it is a very powerful combination of four asset classes, I would say, one is, of course, equity and arbitrage. Okay, these are two important components, two engines, and other two engines are basically your gold and, fixed income market. So as a combination, it's a very powerful combination, which is understood by investors, which is basically they are been investing into it. And, we do not have assets in the mutual fund platform. So we have only about 1 lakh crore of assets in the multi-asset allocation fund. So there is a huge opportunity for us to scale up the entire volumes through this product. The second is that, okay, when you look at in terms of uh, all these asset classes also, they have their own cycles. Correct. And winners also keep on rotating. So there are years when equity will do well, there are years when fixed income will do well, and there are years when precious metals like gold and silver have done well. So clearly, I think it's not about in terms of having one equity class and that will help us in terms of the wealth creation. I think from a wealth creation perspective, there is an adequate exposure which is needed to all the asset classes. And therefore, the relevance of multi-asset allocation fund is much more important. The
True.
second, when you look at in terms of, and I'm just giving from a perspective of the opportunity, we have just about 30 lakh folios in multi-asset allocation fund. So when you look at in terms of the new customer acquisition, and if we have to grow, from that 5 crore base to 25, 30 crore base in the next 25 years, and if we have to grow from, current AUM to 50 times of AUM in terms of the industry and for each one of us, clearly, I think these are the products which will really grow very, very fast and will be able to attract large amount of AUM from the investors because, these products are much more closer to the investors,
Right.
from clear that perspective. Aspect when you look at, I think also relevant from all our partners is when you look at in terms of the average ticket size. So when you look at the average ticket size of the equity is about 1.8 lakhs, per folio. When I look at in terms of the average ticket size for MAV, it's actually 2x of equity. So clearly from a distributor, when I say ROTI, which is basically return on time invested, is, in these kind of products, they will be able to attract much more AUM and will be able to help investors in their wealth creation journey.
Sure, 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 sure. So, what initiatives, marketing strategy initiatives, or supportive initiatives have you taken at Canara Robeco Mutual Fund during this NFO of multi-asset fund?
No, of course, I think as I said that, okay, this is one category which we are really very bullish about it and we are super excited about that category. One thing is definitely we are taking it to the market to all our distributor partners. So one is of course the entire Bharat Darshan which we are doing and creating more awareness about this entire product, and we have expanded the entire reach. So in this product we are taking it to more than 150 locations in the country. Clearly,
Okay.
so going at these places, engaging with our partners, talking about the product proposition, and what we believe is it's not a product, it's a solution. So clearly, I think it's a very, very important solution which our advisors and our partners can take it to their clients. So that is one Bharat Darshan Yatra which we are doing. The second is what we created is different digital webinars which we are doing and digital mediums which we are using to take that message to all our partners and investors. Uh, the good part is that okay, it is not only in English but also in Hindi that we are doing our webinars for our partners so that at least we can talk to their in their own languages and their vernacular languages and can talk to them. The third thing is in terms of the marketing collaterals which we have created. So while we have created marketing collaterals, brochures, one pagers, presentation, but again, keeping in mind the kind of diversity which we have across the country, we have created them in vernacular languages. So if you want in Bengali, the Bengali is available. If you want in Tamil, if you want it in Kuchi, if you want it in Hindi, any of the regional most of the regional languages we have, created all those uh, collaterals so that distributors can take it to their investors and they can understand in their own language. And the fourth is, again, while we have created videos which we have created in the past, but we created, one more medium which we saw that, okay, it could be very helpful to take that message is the, language of music, correct? And we created a rap song around, this entire map so that it simplifies the entire product proposition. And I would request you to please, share that with all, partners in terms that rap song. And I hope to you also it reaches to all the partners.
Sure, sure. So, who's going to be the fund manager for this fund or fund
So,
managers?
yeah. So of course, we have Mr. Amit Kadam, who is going to be the equity fund manager along with Annette Fernandez, and then we have Mr. Kunal Jain, who is going to be the fixed income fund manager.
Sure, sure, sure. So, Gaurav, since I have you with me completely focused on in conversation today, let me also ask what are some of the milestones achieved by Canara Robeco Mutual Fund, in the past a year or so? Could you just
Okay,
highlight
so
a few, please?
yeah, sure. So I'll just take this opportunity to maybe share and rephrase that some of the initiatives which we have taken partners, because anyways through you it will reach out to all to our partners. So I think I would say that last year was a year of initiatives, and in terms of Canara Robeco. So first, I think monthly we have been interacting with all our partners along with our investment team to share our perspectives on market. And one thing which we did is that okay, we realized that okay, we need to have separate sessions both on equity and fixed income. So that is one initiative which we took, that now monthly we have separate sessions. The second is We have also started doing these sessions on Hindi. So both in English and Hindi, so that at least we can reach out to more partners. So that was the first step. The second was when you look at in terms of a lot of training initiatives which we took last year. So one is we took a hybrid specialization course, which is an online digital certification for all our partners. So that
Excellent.
we did with AFM. Then we also run, program on in terms of how do you grow your business 50x. Correct. We have the industry experts there, coming in and talking about in terms of their business and what they need to do about the business, on that part. The third is, for example, we also, while we have come out with this product, but what we believe is that, okay, there's a lot of awareness which needs to created about these multi-asset allocation strategies. So we created, we run the different training programs for all our partners on multi-asset allocation strategies. So that is another training program which we did. We recently launched also one initiative which we called as Perspective, where we called various experts, on a monthly basis to talk about their story, to talk about in terms of what our partners can learn from each story. So those are external speakers, those who are coming in every month and kind of sharing their stories. Also, as you are aware that we actually launched Goal SIP, which is what we believe is a very, very important solution for all our investors and partners, and
That's right.
it
We did
will
cover
help
in
them.
one of our videos.
Yes, absolutely. I shared that also with you. So I'm very happy to share with you also that the Goal SIP which we initiated, we have done the complete integration now. So that while we integrated, it's a very hyper personalized SIPs which can be provided now to the investors using Goal SIP, where they can name their SIP, their and the account statement. That name will reflect what their goal progress will be reflected. But also now we have integrated with all the exchange platforms. So NSE, BSE, MFU, all our distributors, partners, when they are going to all these transaction platforms, have been initiating their SIPs and transactions. Now Canara Robeco Goal SIP is available there. So
Oh,
you can
wonderful.
actually,
Wonderful.
integrate. So it was a huge developmental work because it was not available in these exchange platforms. And we are very happy that Canara Robeco took that initiative for all our partners and providing that. So it's completely integrated with our RTA. It is completely integrated now with all the exchange platforms. So that is one very big initiative. We recently launched our digital app also for our partners, so they can do transactions on our digital app. Apart from that, we have provided a smart MFD Pro, a digital office for all our partners. We have more than 4,000 partners now using that. So there are a couple of these initiatives for partners which we have taken, to really help them grow their business.
And let me add one of them. You have completely revamped your website as well.
That's right. Absolutely. So all the digital aspects, both the complete website and the app has been launched.
Yeah, because I'm an investor also with Canara Robeco funds, and I was very, very happy to see the new website.
Thank you so much.
So, Gaurav, when we look at multi-asset allocation funds, of course, this is a reasonably a newer category amongst the various categories of MFs we have, right? So, what message, through this in conversation, would you like to give to all the advisors, mutual fund distributors, and investors, particularly, when they're looking at an asset allocation, particularly in multi-asset allocation fund, how important it is, not for a short term, but we're looking at, as a reasonable long-term investment solution.
So I think clearly when you look at multi-asset allocation strategies, and I think clearly because it has, when you look at in terms of the entire product, composition, it is either low correlated assets or uncorrelated assets are being there. So that is, the biggest value proposition which it is offering, because, winners keep rotating. So from a product positioning perspective, it is a great value proposition for the investors in their wealth creation journey. I think the biggest opportunity which we have at this point of time is that we have just, a population of more than 140 crore, we have just about 5 crores, correct? A little upwards of 5 crores in the mutual fund. So there is a huge population, investors, those who are not invested in mutual funds. I think one of the category, because if you would just only take the equity fund, I believe that, okay, it will take some more time. But if you take a product like multi-asset allocation, where you have a combination of equity and arbitrage, we have a combination of, gold and debt. I think it will be much more easier for us to acquire, all those clients. And therefore, I think from a penetration perspective, new client acquisition strategy perspective, that is a fantastic product.
Right.
The second, when you look at in terms of the appeal of this product, is across the gender. So, both men and women, would be far more comfortable in terms of, this kind of product being an asset allocation. And of course, this appeal goes beyond the genders. The third is across the age groups, it can appeal because, it has the utility not only in terms of the wealth creation, but also when you look at in terms of some kind of solutions like when there are regular cash flows requirements. So whether it is in terms of post-retirement or, even in intermediate times, if you need the cash flow requirement, I think some of the products which are much more suitable for a regular cash flow requirements are these kind of asset allocation products. Clearly. So I think there is a suitability across the investor groups. There is a suitability across all the goals, across the gender. So it's one universal product, a very powerful, 4 engine are there in this product, which has a universal appeal. And if we have to grow our AUMs, then definitely this is one product which can really help us in terms of scaling up our entire volumes.
While creating a long-term wealth for the investor as well, of course.
Absolutely.
So, wonderful. So, for our viewers, this is Mr. Gaurav Goyal, National Head Sales and Marketing with Canara Robeco Mutual Fund. Talking about the new fund, Canara Robeco Multi-Asset Allocation Fund, new fund offer, which opens up on 9th of May and closes on 23rd of May 2025. And of course, taking us through all the marketing initiatives, the strategy as to what this fund is all about. So thank you very much, Gaurav, for taking all our viewers through that. And for our viewers, I will just say that continue listening to this, in conversation, because what Gaurav mentioned about that video rap song, we're just going to play that. I heard it personally and I found it very, very interesting. So we're just going to play that right after this in conversation. So thank you, Gaurav, for joining in today.
Thank you so much, Surya. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
सुनो भाइयों, पैसा लगाना है स्मार्ट, 3 assets का combo, that's the real art. Equity से मिल सकती है growth, जो long term में help करे create wealth. Depth से मिल सकती है strength, जो portfolio को दे good health. Gold और silver भी है साथ, तो tension है कम. Portfolio हुआ strong क्योंकि diversification में है दम. इस investment के नए तरीके को कहते हैं माफ. जो diversification देकर stress को कर सकता है साफ. Mix करो, relax करो, chill मारो bro. Mix करो, relax करो, chill मारो bro. Market के ups downs का हो सकता है झटका कम. Diversify करके बना सकते हैं अपना portfolio strong हम. Long term में growth बढ़ सकता है रे ज़्यादा. Risk कम, 3 asset class का फायदा ये है लादा. इस investment के नए तरीके को कहते हैं माफ. जो diversification देकर stress को कर सकता है साफ. Mix करो, relax करो, chill मारो bro. Mix करो, relax करो, chill मारो bro.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
म्यूचुअल फंड निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है. योजना से जुड़े सभी दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें.